Hey guys, Mooky here, and I'm back with another part of What If Izuku Had Archer's Powers. This is part 28, and the last part, Izuku, got into the dorms and convinced his mom to let him go, and also, him and Momo, basically told everyone in Class 1A that they're now dating with, certain people not enjoying the fact that that's happening. Also, he's now trying to find a way to create a new special move or a new technique that's a substitute for unlimited blade works, due to him now having PTSD using unlimited blade works to kill Muscular. Any rate, with that said, let's get into this. As Izuku still training with Joan in spear play, she realizes that he's actually grown quite a bit and has a more traditional stance of using a spear, as he soon tosses away Gay Bogue and saying thank you, saintly maiden, as she's saying, hey, if anything, I'm glad to help out the next successor of One for All. As he's saying, wait, you know about you do know, I thought of all people, since I was a sidekick for All Might, you of all people should know. As Izuku's saying, I didn't think he would tell his sidekicks as well. As she tells him, not just me, but also Sir Night-Eye, who still doesn't approve of you, actually, Midoriya. As saying, wait, what do you... I think I talked too much. As she's saying, just focus on your training, and ask, have you figured out a way to use your special move? I know about that, other technique you did during the sports festival. You got that down, but you're still training. Can you tell me why? As Izuku saying, I'm afraid of using unlimited blade works after what I did to Muscular at the training camp. I didn't think that I actually killed him, but I did. And now, every time I even think of unlimited blade works, I think of Muscular. And I can't even use my signature blades, Bakuya and Kinshiro, without throwing up. Or tossing them, or breaking any of them. I'm just scared. That's all. As she's saying, and there's nothing wrong with that. I know to some people, killing people isn't the way of a hero. However, sometimes it's necessary. So you want to try and save and prevent killing the villain if possible. But All Might once told me that sometimes it's necessary, that the people come first. And sometimes you have to break those morals to protect those that you care about. Is Izuku saying All Might said that? It's just what he told me when I was still struggling to fighting it, when I was almost nearly about to kill a villain. I didn't want to do it, and All Might told me that. So now I'm telling you, figure out a different way. You can find a way. You're a bright kid after all. And soon after that, she leaves, with Izuku thinking to what she just said, realizing that he needs to figure something out, and tries to think of and projects both Bakuya and Kinshiro. As he soon looks at them, he tries to imagine something different. The same blades. He hates looking at these blades now. But why not give them something different? Make them into something that doesn't remind him of unlimited blade works. As soon after, he heads back to the dorms, where he hears a knock from Momo. As she soon asks, Izuku, can I come in? Izuku soon walks up to the door and lets her in, and asks if she needs anything, as she just wants to see how he's doing. As she began learning how to use different moves for her creations, and was wanting to ask for training with using swords. As Izuku was about to agree, but begins feeling down about training with her, saying maybe she should train with somebody better. As she asks, "You're the only person I know that's good in sword training, even if you said it's you're self-taught." As he thinks, "Yeah, but I know you're still down about what happened during the summer camp, and I know you don't have to use unlimited blade works to become a great hero. That's only something you created with your quirk. Just remember, there's still so much more to you." As he says, "Thanks, Momo. I really appreciate that." As she also says, "And besides, I really like your yin and yang swords after all. What are they? Bakuya and Kenshiro?" As he begins blushing, "Thanks." as soon after, he brings out both swords and has the urge to destroy them or get rid of them. But when Momo's around, he doesn't. He decides to just keep around, as he does have vivid memories of them being in their bayonet forms, but thinks of something different. He remembered them being in their wing longsword forms when he reinforces them. But what happens if he reinforces them into something different? As he soon thinks, "Wait a minute, I got an idea." As she asks, "You okay, Izuku?" As he soon begins pulling tons of books from his shelf, and she asks, "What are you?" As he looks through one of them, saying, "This is it. I can't believe I didn't think of this." As he kisses her on the cheek and says, "You are amazing, Yaoyamo." As he leaves, and she feels glad I could help, as she still feels shocked. Next day, everyone begins trying to train even more, as Bakugo figures out his AP shot, and both Kirishima and Kaminari got their costume changes. As for Momo, she also got a costume change where she actually has two sheaths, one on her back and one on her side, one being for her sword, and the other being for a combat knife, actually. So yeah, she's began having being more inspired by the one she loves. As for Bakugo still training, All Might was about to get hit by one of the debris. As for Aizawa and Saintly Mate, both of them tried to help All Might. However, Izuku jumps in the air using his full cow, and this time he begins using a sword with two blades, one on top and one below it. As he soon cuts through the sword and begins swinging around him, pulverizing the entire rock, making nothing but small pebbles. As everyone saw this, and he lands. As they see the blade that Izuku has, this blade being both Bakuya and Kenshiro as a double saber, just like Emiya Alter in Fate Grand Order, actually. So yeah, even though he can't use his bayonet blades, this is a great substitute, actually. He can even generate one for all through the blade, creating small shockwave slashes from it, where how Izuku uses his air flick bullets later on after getting his gloves from Hatsume. He can use something similar and generate them through his double saber. As everyone sees this, as Kirishima says, "Wow, Midoriya, that was awesome, man." As Kaminari says, "Dude, new weapon? I figured you would use," as Kirishima soon noticed, "Don't say that, Kaminari. I think it's okay, guys. I still haven't gotten used to using Unlimited Blade Works again. But using this double saber should give me an upper hand. And if I can't, I still got it." As he pulls out, he creates Excalibur. "I still got my other trump card after all." As he soon gives off a smile, with Momo's heart skipping a beat, seeing her boyfriend's precious smile. As Bakugo sees down and sees his childhood friend, but thinking that he's forcing a smile, and still feels guilty on what would happen to him. After that, the couple days go by even more as they prepare for their provisional licensing exam, as everyone is pumped and hyped for this, as everyone begins arriving, just like before, such as Shuketsu, the school that rivals even UA. As they run into Inasa, just like in canon, and Aizawa explains on how Inasa was the one to take the highest during the recommendation exam. As Izuku hears this, thinking that he's even better than Shoto during the recommendation exam. As they even run into Ketsubutsu Academy as well, with Shindo and his classmates. As after that, they begin getting the explanation just like before, and they're soon thrust into getting points. As for Class 1A, Izuku tells everyone to stick together, as soon after Bakugo goes off on his own, just like he did in canon, as he would want to stay behind and knows that Izuku is right. But right now, he needs to keep his distance. As Kirishima and Kaminari soon go after them and tries to help him out. Help him out, of course. As for Shoto, Izuku actually stops him this time, as Shoto saying, "Midoriya, I understand you want to help me out, but I feel like," as Izuku stops him before he can finish and tells him, "No, Todoroki, look, I know that you feel like your quirk would do better on a wide open area with less collateral damage, but you've grown a lot more stronger. And if anything, we need somebody like you to stick around with us. To be honest, think about it. Everyone has seen what we can do during the sports festival." As everyone realized what Izuku's saying, then that means, as Momo thinks, that means they already know what we can do. They'll be coming after us anyway. After Momo finishes that, soon after, everyone from other schools alongside Ketsubutsu and throws all their balls at all of them, as Izuku uses his Kenshiro Bakuya double saber and shoots a shockwave slash that knocks all of them back. As soon after, everyone else begins showing off their skills and their training as well, with Momo still doing the same, creating tons of shields to block all the balls. But while creating these shields, she actually creates a bow and tons of arrows, and then she sticks something onto one of the arrows, as she remembers that Izuku taught her how to use a bow, as Izuku is really skilled with archery after all. As she soon thinks, "I'm thankful for everything you've done for me, Izuku, so I'll show what you've taught me." And then shoots the arrow while tons of smoke begins coming from it, as everyone is unable to see. Soon after, just like before, Shindo uses his quirk vibrations to separate everyone in Class 1A, just like before. So, and just like that, let's just say everything goes pretty similar like canon, with Izuku running into Kami, who's actually Toga, being saved by Ochako and Sero as well, with Bakugo also helping out as well. And as for Momo, Sojiro, Jiro, and Tsuyu, that goes. They still end up saving, but Momo isn't afraid to use up all of her ligaments and feeling more tired, since she's had more training to get the upper hand into this. And not only that, she also knows that her classmates, her friends, would be there to help her out, since she trusts each and every one of them after all. So it goes a lot more quickly than it normally would. After that, everyone in Class 1A passes, just like in canon, with them reaching doing the other exam, and that being the rescue part, which some of them are freaking out like crazy, since they haven't really done much rescue training after what happened during the USJ. But just like in canon, Izuku rallies everyone to realize the situation and helps out. And then Gang Orca shows up, with his sidekicks helping out as his minions for the exam, which things go the same as canon like before, as Izuku helps out, tries to take out a couple of the minions to help people evacuate the rescuees and everything. As for Izuku, and he notices that Shoto and Iwarashi are still arguing with each other and fighting against one another, mostly because of Iwarashi hating Shoto's father, Endeavor, and despising him, and also despising Shoto as well, due to Shoto originally having hateful eyes. As for Izuku, he stops them before they could do any more stupid stuff by shooting an arrow stored up with One For All's stock power, and exploding between both of them, one beside Shoto and one beside Iwarashi, while he was still in the air, knocking him down, as he soon screams out to both of them to get a grip, that they're in a situation where they need to work together. Forget about your differences and think about what would happen to innocent people if you guys bickered like this. You're not acting like heroes, you're acting like children. Instead, as hearing this, both of them soon nodded, and realizing that they needed to get a grip, as they began as while Iwarashi uses his wind, Shoto uses his flames, and they create a tornado of flames across Gang Orca. While seeing this, Izuku takes care of the minions easily by switching out from his double saber and creating two of his spears, one red and one yellow, as he begins beating down on the minions even more. As soon after, they begin reaching, both Shoto and Iwarashi begin reaching their limit, as they both go to the ground after that. As Gang Orca soon comes back, sees this, and was about to knock both of them out with his sonic attack, as Izuku rushes out and switches out his spear for Mordred's sword instead, and a gust of red energy comes from the blade, and Gang Orca was knocked to the ground, holding back the massive broadsword, as Izuku is struggling to knock Gang Orca to his feet. Soon after, the exam ends with Gang Orca saying, "Midoriya, you're quite strong. Way stronger than I expected, if anything. I guess that's what I expect from somebody who was able to protect his entire classmates all by himself. It shows you got great leadership qualities as well, as Izuku begins feeling embarrassed as he tells him, but you still got a long way to go. Even though you helped those two set out their difference during this exam, you could have still hurt them, hurting your chances as well. As Izuku, again, freaking out, but tells him, but knowing you, I don't see you failing this exam at all. As he soon walks away, as Izuku thinks, what was all that about? And after that, those who were able to pass are soon showed on the bulletin, with Izuku was able to pass as well. And then, however, Shoto and Iwarashi was actually able to pass too, thanks to Izuku anyway. If he didn't interfere, they would have failed, with them actually passing by 1 point, which both of them having a relief. However, the one that still failed, just like in canon, being Bakugo, due to his attitude and anger and everything. So yeah, that still is the same. As Izuku and everyone else gets their provisional license and heading back to the dorms, All Might still confronts All For One in his prison cell at Tartarus as they began explaining their philosophies and to see which of their proteges, their successors, would rule this world, Izuku or Shigaraki. As everyone in Class 1A begins celebrating on how they got their provisional license and all that, Bakugo was about to head back to his room as Izuku tells him, "Hey, Kachan, meet me outside when curfew falls. We need to talk." As Bakugo saying, "What do you?" Just as Izuku gives him a stern look, saying, "We need to talk. Make sure you're out here." As Bakugo sees that look, realizing that he really is serious. After that, as everyone begins going to bed and curfew falls, both Izuku and Bakugo head to Field Beta, where they did their hero training. As Bakugo asks, "Okay, Deku, care to explain why you want me out here?" As Izuku saying, "I know you've been keeping your distance from me because you feel guilty on what happened to me. Because I nearly died." As Bakugo saying, "What the hell are you talking about? I know you, Kachan." As he stops at him, as Izuku yells at, "I know the person you are. We've been friends ever since we were kids. And not only that, you've always protected me. I always felt like I was always playing second fiddle to you because I was afraid on what I could do with projection, or I didn't know what I could do with it until I knew you were in danger. And not only that, I realized I could become strong, just like you, or possibly even stronger. And yet, you still felt frustrated that I was getting stronger, right?" As Bakugo said, "Yes, I was. But I was also happy as well. You were getting strong. No longer I saw you as the weak kid who was afraid of his own quirk, who didn't know what to do with his own damn quirk. You were getting stronger. Someone I was glad to call my rival and friend. But then, it was my fault. The League was after me, and yet you came to my rescue. And not only that, you nearly died because of me. How can I call myself your friend? How can I call myself a future hero if you nearly died to protect me? And not only that, because of my own damn hang-ups, I failed the provisional licensing exam. I didn't get a chance to show how strong I was. And yet you were able to pass easily, even though you had your own damn hang-ups. It just shows on how much I'm now the weakest. and how much you're the one who's been protecting me instead. And it frustrates me all the same. As Izuku sees this, and then he creates Gawain's Excalibur, the massive the long great sword, and soon points it out at Bakugo, and then a ball of fire comes out and fires right at Bakugo as he creates an explosion to erase it in front of him and screams out, "What the hell you think you're doing, you damn nerd? You almost..." As Izuku rushes at him, as Bakugo reacts in time, using explosions to push him right back, while Izuku's sword lands onto the ground, creating a small crater. As Izuku says, "I know how you feel, Kachan. I really do. So that's why, right here, right now, we're going to settle on who's the strongest between us. You or me. So, prepare yourself, Kachan, because I don't plan on holding back." As he points his sword right at his childhood friend. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe and tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I really would love to hear them. And also, I don't know if I'm going to able to make the next script as soon as possible. Not because of writer's block, but mostly because of other things. So yeah. At any rate, this is Mooky, signing out. Later.